Mark Rogers TV, continuing our series looking at all the postseason teams here in 2017 and 18 and taking a look back at their bowl history and the history of that particular bowl. So this afternoon, we've got the New Era Pinstripe Bowl between Iowa and Boston College. Yes, I'm recording these as a live stream on YouTube, the next couple of videos, just to get these knocked out before a very, very busy day. With work and college football. Okay, Iowa comes in at 7-5, 4-5 in the Big Ten, with, of course, the most discussed game in the college football season this year, the 31-point drubbing of Ohio State at home. Boston College at 7-6, 4-4 in the ACC. The ACC with 11 reps in the bowl season. Only 3 teams missed: Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and North Carolina. This game played at Yankee Stadium, 5:15 Eastern Time, ESPN. It's mighty cold out there. Plenty of snow, but no snow in the forecast, so the snow should be off the field. It is days old. Iowa with a long bowl history at 14, 15-1. That's 14 wins, 15 losses, 1 tie, 2-4 in the Rose Bowl. 1957 was Iowa's first appearance in postseason play. They defeated Oregon State in the Rose Bowl 35-19. You will see this commonplace for most Big Ten teams, excluding, of course, Maryland and Rutgers and Penn State. The old guard Big Ten, that their first few trips to postseason play, first several trips to postseason play at the Rose Bowl. That was the only bowl game up until 1975 the Big Ten teams were allowed to play in. So it was the champion and no one else. Hayden Fry and Kirk Ferentz have dominated postseason play among Iowa coaches all time. Hayden Fry, 6-7-1 from 1979 to 98. That was his stay in Iowa City. If you don't know the history, Iowa football down during the 60s and 70s. Hayden Fry brought it back to national prominence and had quite a run at Iowa, considering what they had been through over the previous 2 decades. But he took his beatings at the Rose Bowl, twice to the hands of Washington. In 1981, that would be the 82 Rose Bowl, and in 1990, 28-0 and 46-34, a game at 46-34 that was not nearly as close as the final score would indicate. And UCLA took down a very talented and highly ranked Iowa team behind Heisman Trophy winner Chuck Long, 45-28 at the 1986 Rose Bowl. Kirk Ferentz immediately replaced Hayden Fry in 1999. He's been there ever since. He's 6-8 in postseason play. Had quite a bit of success, but it's been a rough ride for Ferentz and the Hawkeyes in bowl play recently. Ferentz did defeat Nick Saban in Saban's final game at LSU before going off to the Miami Dolphins on a last-second Hail Mary play in the right corner of the end zone, defeating LSU 30-25 in that game. Ferentz is 1-1 in the Orange Bowl, having defeated Georgia Tech after the 2009 season, but losing to Carson Palmer, who won the Heisman Trophy in 2002, and USC. 5 straight losses to the Hawkeyes. In most of these games, they were not properly placed in the bowl system, meaning the first game here against Oklahoma was a top 10 team. Iowa was 6-6. Should not have been playing each other. That has happened a few times with Iowa, but in particular, they've lost to Oklahoma, LSU, who was much higher ranked, Tennessee, evenly matched game, Stanford in the Rose Bowl when both teams, actually Stanford won the Pac-12 championship. Iowa was technically second place, having gone to the Big Ten championship game in 2015, but should have been much lower seeded. Ohio State was better, and possibly Michigan as well in 2015. And then Florida drubbed them last year in the fourth quarter, 30-3. Let's take a look at BC. The Eagles, 14-11 all-time in bowl games. They have had some pretty good stretch runs of bowl games, but typically not in the upper echelon of bowl games, not like we have seen with Iowa playing in multiple Rose Bowls, Orange Bowls, and so forth, and some of the big Capital One, Citrus, and Gator Bowls, Outback Bowls on New Year's Day. For BC, it started off with a 6-3 loss to Clemson. And it's come full circle. Of course, they play Clemson each and every year in the same division now. They lost to Clemson 6-3 in the 1940 Cotton Bowl. Doug Flutie, Heisman winner, defeated Houston at the Cotton Bowl as well, 45-28 in his Heisman winning season of 1984. Okay, that was Doug Flutie winning over Houston, and that was Boston College last bowl win before last season. Okay, before last season's bowl victory over Maryland, I'm getting my notes straight. Matt Ryan, 3 touchdown passes and leading a 10-3 BC team to a win over Brian Hoyer and Michigan State 24-21 at the Russell Athletic Bowl, whatever they called it at the time, the Champ Sports Bowl, after the 2007 campaign. And then last year, BC, with its first win since then in postseason play in the Quick Lane Bowl, defeated Maryland. Entertaining game, 36-30. The entire BC defensive line won the MVP. You would have to see the game to understand why. I remember it well. I was entertained. I like freakish type plays in football, meaning blocked kicks, batted passes, return for touchdowns, strip sacks, those kind of plays. So you had a lot of that by the BC defense in defeating the Terps. This is the 8th Pinstripe Bowl, and it's been settled into a Big Ten ACC series recently. Syracuse is the only team to have 2 wins in this New York Bowl game, defeating Kansas State in the very inaugural game in 2010, 36-34, and they had a win against Geno Smith in West Virginia, 38-14 in 2012, as a pretty heavy underdog. Big Ten has won 2 over the ACC's 1. Northwestern over Pitt last year in a bit of an upset. This is the first meeting between Iowa and BC. It's at the Pinstripe Bowl, 5:15 Eastern Time on ESPN. I'll be back with more postseason history right here on Mark Rogers TV. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will find just not analysis from myself. This isn't typically what I do, is just read off a bunch of numbers and go through history, but this did take some time. I am pretty well versed in college football history, but of course I had to get some specifics straight. So this did take some time, and I just thought it would be an interesting project to share with all of you. But throughout the year, 24/7, 365, it's hardcore college football analysis. We hope to have fun. We hope to entertain you, but also provide the insight and the information, not just from myself, but from the best bloggers, broadcasters in the industry, right here on Mark Rogers TV.